welcome or welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. It has been about 3 years since I last did a Flosstube. Life just happened. I moved. I did something shortly after I moved. I kind of started focusing on eBay. Then some stuff changed. I felt it was really important for me to go out and get a regular job versus selling on eBay. So the job I found is working overnights, and it is really like messed with the system for sure. And it was super tired for a very long time. I have actually just moved down to 4 days a week, and I can already feel that this is putting my energy back and giving me more like workable work-life balance. And because of that, I have gotten back into my cross-stitching. Now, I've always done a little bit of cross-stitching here and there, and if I really come across something that I've worked on, I'll try and show you a before picture. But for the most part, all of this is going to look the same it did basically 3 years ago. There's a few things here and there, like I said, but not much. For a year after I got my job, I hardly did anything craft related. I was just trying to move on to a weird schedule. But anyways, I'm back. I have created wheels on the Spin app. I have 5 wheels. One is for new starts, which I think I got 5, 6, 7 planned. I will go over those at the end of the video, and I left my notebook. Hold on one sec. And I'm back. Notebook has information like who designed what and stuff like that in it, so I'm sorry I don't really have fabrics. I do get a hold of some fabrics. Usually I don't know specifically what they are. I've really gotten back to a lot of Aida. My eyes, they're just not all that good anymore. I need to go to the doctor, the eye doctor, optometrist, and actually get glasses, but like I said, I work nights. And of course it doesn't open till like 8:39. I get off at 7 a.m. I don't want to then turn around after getting home and go somewhere else to do something. So we'll try and see on the 4-day schedule if I gain enough energy to actually go and get that done. But it has put me on a lot of Aida. I do have reading glasses that allow me to see some up close stuff, which will actually be one of the first things I show you. Oh yeah, I have the 5 wheels. One is for new starts. One has my fancy ladies. One has the full coverages that I want to put 1,000 stitches on when I spin that wheel. One has all of the items on it, and then one of them is focus on the finish. I do have one project in there that is a full coverage, so the focus on the finish will be more like pushing to put in like 10, 15, 20% of it. It is a quick stitch from Heaven and Earth, so it's a little bit more manageable to get in and push for that higher percentage. I'm also slower now. I started developing arthritis. I am 46 now. I also, it's believed, probably have carpal tunnel, so I cannot stitch the first several hours I get up. I can't do any sort of crafty things or anything where I'm got little tiny movements. It makes my hands go numb, so I need to be getting to the doctor and figuring that out. But my doctor, they moved buildings, and literally my insurance didn't cover me anymore because the insurance didn't have the new address for the building that they moved into. So that's just barely been sorted out. the weird things insurances do nowadays. That's all I've got to say. So, anyways, at the end of the video, I will go over the new starts. I did say that already. Sorry, my hair is continually rubbing up against my arm and I can feel it. So anyways, let's get into this. The first project I'm going to show you. This is a Drusilla kit, Leap of Faith. It says she took a leap of faith and grew wings on the way down. I saw this on a Flosstube years ago. Thought it was super cool. Just liked the saying. And this is, I have spun the wheel. And I haven't spun it for new starts. I spun it for Fancy Ladies. The one that came up was something that is planned on being a new start. So I'm not worrying about the Fancy Ladies at the moment. Focus on a finish. The 1,000 stitches, I will, when I get to it, that probably might be the second one I show you. And then the third one is something that is on 3 of the wheels, so it's not surprising that it came up. And I will, yeah, probably try and show you that third. So first one spun was Focus on a Finish, which this is one I have worked on, so hopefully I will be able to pop a picture up in somewhere. I'm not sure where there's space. I need to get something for my camera so I can see it. The front view camera works so much better than, because it's on my phone. The part where I can see myself, that camera just is not very good. So anyways, that's where I'm at. I've got a few more words to do, and there's another little feather right up there. So this will be getting done hopefully soon. I'd say maybe tonight, but I'm not quite sure. These little guys kind of take forever because they're just very densely packed together. But it is just basically backstitch, which I can get through backstitch pretty quick. I know some people don't like backstitch. I kind of enjoy backstitch, so that is that one. Okay, second one up is Time Goes By. This is a Heaven and Earth design. Gonna look at my notes. Let's see if I can figure out. The artwork is by Pat Brennan. Of course, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm not very far on it. I'm at just over 1,000 stitches, I think. So, and I have put in a couple stitches since then, but it's really no different than it was previously. If it turns out weird, I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it over here so you actually see the work. But I should have also put a picture in of what it looks like. But this is the regular size. It's one of the only regular size ones I have. Most of them are either, well, I have one quick stitch and the others are the minis. This one is full size and it is max color. It is not super sized, which is nice because this here is half the width of the fabric. So I know some people, you'll see them and they've got fabric that is like bigger than them. Don't think I'll ever work on that project. Like I said, I'm 46 and I just don't have the ability to stitch as much as I'd like, so I'm not gonna get into that sort of project. Third one I'm going to show you was my wheel spin, and this was just for all of the whips that I have available. Like I said, I have this one on Focus on a Finish and 1,000 stitches because it is a full coverage, but it is Heaven and Earth Designs Quick Stitch. And it's something I would like to get done soon. And yes, I know, I started it way over here, and it turns out there's a lot of extra fabric on this side. Why did I do that? Because I miscounted. I miss math. My math didn't work correctly. So, again, I forgot to put down, write anywhere, how many stitches I have. If I think about it, I will put that in somewhere so that you know. But it's just a everyday WIP. It's kind of a work on it till I want to move on to something else, or just whatever. Trying to find time to just work on them. Did I say? It's called Janessa. It's by Lynn. The reason I have this is because my niece's name is Janessa. And it's really cute. It's like, she's got gorgeous designs, of course. And it's got a kind of youthful look to it, of course. It's Lynn. Or is this one? No, this one says it's Hannah Disney. I don't know if that's a separate person or if that's a previous name, or if Heaven and Earth just put down the wrong name. I really need to look into that. But it does say on my pattern, it does say Hannah Disney, so maybe I'll look that up if I remember and indicate somewhere what it is. If not, somebody can let me know down in the comments below, because yeah. Anyways, that is the third wheel spin. Like I said, the other one, which would be New Start, that came up in the Fancy Ladies, so I'm just not worrying about Fancy Ladies yet at the moment. I'm going to focus on a finish piece, then I'm going to spin to work on a Fancy Lady. After that, I will spin the wheel. I will spin the wheel at the end of this video to show you the New Start that I'm going to start. And we'll also go over the ones I have planned. I think there's 7. Okay, so moving on. I'm not doing things in any particular order. It's just the bags I have. I literally have stuff in 4 different places throughout my house, my apartment. It's about 450 square feet. There's just nowhere I can put a dedicated space for all of them. So I put them where I can. We're just going to dig in. First one up. This is Miss Christmas Eve by Nora Colbert, Mirabilia Designs. Don't know why I struggled to pronounce that, but I did. It's the first one of these patterns that I decided to stitch. I don't know why, I absolutely love her. But I put her on sparkly fabric, opalescent fabric. Can't remember specifically. I haven't gotten very far. I started in the middle because that's what I like to do. But it's Miss Christmas Eve, like, do you not think that maybe that looks cooler on sparkly fabric than the yellow that is in this? I mean, the yellow's okay, but I mean, come on. It's sparkly fabric. And she's, of course, in the, like all WIPs will, in the Fancy Ladies. Next one up, another Mirabilia. I don't know why I can't say that. Mirabilia. Somebody help me. Phonetics down below, please. Thank you. This is Lady of the Flag, and we'll have to pop a picture in because the pattern is actually with somebody else at the moment. It's a borrowed pattern. No, I do not own this pattern. I might be mean in the comments if somebody saw, are you willing to sell the pattern? No, watch the video. But this is fabric I dyed myself. It'd be a linen. I wouldn't be able to tell you what count, probably 28, 32, something like that. But you will see no progress on her since I worked on her last. I really don't know how the sound is doing because I'm holding this up above my mouth and I'm not sure if the sound goes through to the speaker or not. So sorry about that. I'll try and talk and hold up separately. But yeah, I also did the Krynic. I started at the bottom quarter, this bit here, and then I'm moving over to this bit, and then I'll move up into the top. But I do like the way these stitch up. I'll do the beading last. I do have all the beading and stuff, but I am putting in the Krynic as I go because I find that stuff can be kind of a pain in the butt to work with. Even the Petite Treasure braid, like any of it, it just seems to be awkward and weird to work with. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. That was in my BTS bag. I do some cross stitching that I finish. Just not much. Yeah, I most definitely have no finishes to show you. Next one up. Project bag I made myself. Also works for my knitting projects. I put, I think it's Mini Magic Study. Yep. This one had a color color variation to it. That was like purpley tealy that I absolutely loved. I didn't see it until after it was gone. It was a special one, limited edition. So I got the regular one. I got it in the mini because wasn't quite as interested in it in the regular rainbow color. Tried to get a hold of like the color one, the color conversion one, but yeah, somebody would have had to have like actually purchased the pattern and had it printed and sent to them in order for me to actually get it. So, and most people don't do that. Most people get these in PDF form, which is cool. That's what I do. Put things in Pattern Keeper. Pattern Keeper was annoying me today. I was trying to do a, like, take a picture and put it in. And when I was going in to, like, line up the gridding and stuff, it would skip some of the circles, and then the circles would be off. The lines would be off, and I wouldn't be able to, like, move it into the right place. So I couldn't get the grid straight. And it'd be like, if it was just one, okay, I could maybe like take the time to move all the circles around it. No, it'd be like one here, and then they'd be askew by like a line or two. So yeah, it was definitely annoying me. Next up is this one. Not seen much. Clockwork Dragonling. I don't know why I'm struggling with. I have to say that word slow. Dragonling. By Jasmine, Beckett, Griffith. This is a mini as well. I am doing it 1/1. And this is just the top corner. Again, try and remember to put in the stitch count. No work's been done on it, of course, but the needle minder is of the as of the picture, so I would have gotten that through Heaven and Earth, of course. I wouldn't have bought the pattern in printed form, so apparently I bought the needle minder separately at some point. This is the very first full coverage Heaven and Earth that I picked up, because it's steampunk. I like the steampunk. Love this artist style. I believe I have another one started, and I think I have another one in my pattern keeper. So, and I think that one has a dragon in it too. Next one up, this is Ice Princess in the stocking version, and I am doing the Crazy Unthinkable. I'm sure somebody else has done it. I really, really want to see somebody else doing it, but I'm doing color conversion because my Christmas is pink. So I, of course, have not gotten very far. I've been forgetting to try and put, there we go. Again, not very far, just a few stitches. I have to look in, see where it's at I'm working, and then see the color that I converted it to. There are some stuff down here and up here that, it's over on this side, that I won't do as much color change to. It'll be very specific, but imagine her in pink, like, oh, I love. So I do want to show something with this. I struggle to find the way I want to keep my floss. Some of them are on floss drops, some of them are on cards. Like, I have my big project is the Time Goes By. I have them on cards that are then put in a binder, which again I don't like still. And I don't find the floss drops to necessarily be super easy. So this is something that I made. I close it with a rubber band because I forgot to sew in or I didn't know how to sew in or something like that. But it's just around. And it unrolls. And the backing is a, I think it's just lining fabric, so it's really smooth and soft. It's, you know, like a silk or satin. And then the floss part is on a, this one's fleece, but like a flannel or something like that. Felt would work real good. As you can see, I'm holding this straight up and my floss is sticking to it. I wouldn't be able to like fling it around or anything. And this is only like half of the floss. It goes up to 894. So, and that's probably a little too big to be seen or held because it's not stiff. But they stay like that. And I have to admit, I actually like being able to grab one of these, find the bit, the end that is in the middle, and I can just pull on this, pull out once, twice, sometimes 3 times depending upon what type of project I'm working on, and then just cut it off, leaving the tail pretty easy to find. It pulls out generally pretty well. On occasion, it doesn't work. It's just like when you're grabbing the single strand of floss and you pull. It usually comes out just fine. Every once in a while, it gets kind of jumbled up. There's no perfect way, and then I just tie it around. And this is one of the easiest ways I've found to just work with my floss. I've got some of them on the little floss cards. And again, you know, it's just not as effective or easy or whatever you might want to call it. So this I'm playing around with. I really do want to make a second one so that I have a second one with the rest of the colors, hopefully. I might need a third one to do all the colors because I really don't want to make it much longer than I already have it. But the thing about this is I also find it to be a nice size to put somewhere. Floss drops, you put them on the ring, and then you kind of twist the ring and set it sideways to go inside of stuff. If maybe all your projects hung or something, it wouldn't be as bad, but this I find can go in the project bag real well. And then this guy here I've got folded up, so they're not the same, of course, but put them side by side and your project bag is a little flatter. So, and I also would figure out something other than a rubber band to hold it. I could maybe get little plastic snaps, but then again, you'd have to roll it a very specific size, and I don't want to roll it a specific size. I want it to be rolled like whatever size I need it to be. It's this size because that's the size of the rubber band. But I wouldn't mind it being rolled a little bit wider. Then it'd be a little flatter and a little bit more in line with this. So we will see. But the flannel is leopard print, so because you're not going to get as cool of fabrics with the slickness, with something that's slick enough. There are stuff out there, of course, but yeah, I was using what I had, so it got quilted, sewn down to hold it. But anywho, been playing with this. See how it continues to go, but I don't know. I struggle to find anything that makes working with the floss just that much easier. Floss drops, again, okay. I find though that sometimes I have to kind of like pull it off a little bit so that I can get a strand to pull. Otherwise it's just too tight and the strand won't pull. So yeah, it just, the bulkiness and can't lay flat. That's why I tried the 3-ring binder, putting them on like floss cards and having them hang down, and it's kind of easy to flip through but not really, and then it's still floss drop like, so you have to kind of still pull out this thing, and it can't, the length of the floss can't like really hang down straight because the binder is only, you know, this tall and the floss drops are like this long. So it's not working as well as I'd hoped that one would, but this one seems to be doing okay. So if you've got some other way in which you keep your floss, like, let me know, because just all the normal ways I'm just really struggle with. Anyways, that's that one. Okay, next one. I might try and, yeah, I'm just going to put a picture up in it because it's on paper and I have to pull it out. And they made sure this thing was just the width of the little booklet. So this is a full coverage piece, white willow stitching. Did I write down who the actual artist was? I should have. Did I remember to is another question. Nope, I did not write down the actual artist. So we're pulling this out anyways. There's a picture of it. I will still pop up a regular picture because I think it's better. Art is Michael Calendara. Calendara? Based on the artwork of Michael Calendara. I'm horrible with last names. They just, my mind looks for words that are similar to words I already know and puts them together versus like actually seeing the word as a whole. So I very much struggle with last names, sometimes first names, but yeah. I got a hold of a couple different white willow stitching patterns. They were like on sale or on clearance through 123 Stitch, so. But anyways, this is 2/1/10 stitch. That's how far I am. It's on paper, so I would not be able to tell you how many stitches it is. I can give you a basic 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, probably 4. 8 times 4. It's probably about how many stitches I have in there. Not 8 times 4. 80 times 40. I was doing my counting. I was counting in tens. But 80 times 40. That's probably about how many stitches I have in. Yeah. My needle minder, I bought it. Did I buy it on Etsy? I think I bought it on Etsy. It was a little piggy butt. And I found that amusing. Like I said, I like the steampunk stuff. I like steampunk. I also like skulls. So. My cell phone, like every 30, 40 hour, whatever, it stops the recording and then restarts it again right away. So if there's any weird cuts in this, like very weird editing, it's probably that having happened. Just to keep you up on that. Next one, it's in a bag. It's got a cross stitching design. This I designed myself. It says, peace cannot be achieved through the utilization of conformity, but only found by embracing diversity. So that's a sentiment for you. This is my Dark Queen of the Sea Sow. Yeah, it's several years old. I'm on like, I don't know, part 4 or 5, something like that. Picture should be up here. I did the booby version, so, you know, just a warning. This is as far as I've gotten. There's a little bit more down here with the fishies, but, you know, there's not much more. I converted her hair to like a white. I did change the look of the boobies. They were They're very prominent in the nipple department, and just wanted them a little smaller. I chose to do the skull. However, I did put in behind the blue that has the little swirly thing, and I'm going to be following a lot of the swirly other parts of the swirly bit, so it's kind of going in and swirling around the skull. So I combined both of those. Yeah, this owl has a lot of different like variations. I'm going to change her crown because I've seen a couple other crowns done that I like better, and I'm thinking her crown might go to silver. It's like the Art Nouveau style, so it's got like some corner pieces that have gold around it. I'll probably change that to silver as well, but it is what it is. This fabric is barely big enough, so I sewed a piece of other fabric so that I could hold it in the Q-snap. Grime Guard is one I made. Fabric used to be available on my Etsy, but it's not there no more. I'm going to be getting in a few new fabrics here shortly though, so that'll be cool. Now we're on the baggie, okay. Oh, we'll keep that in case I need it. Next up is another white willow stitching. This is based on the artwork of Ronnie Lawrence. It's a skull. It's a skull in hands with a neat back, I don't know what you'd call it. But I actually started this originally on a piece of green fabric that I had dyed, and I don't know why. I decided I didn't like it. It might have been like a linen or something like that. And I've really been going back to the Aida. It's just easier to see. But so I got a different fabric, and I kind of think this one's going to be a little bit cooler looking, even though I think the green fabric would have been really cool. But this is fabric I dyed myself. Where I'd gotten to before was about this, and then I'd started in on the skull up above. Sorry, I don't know how much see-through things are being. I keep forgetting to put something behind them. But yeah, this fabric was dyed by me. I was playing around with fabric dyeing for a while. I like the modeling on this. It's really fun and cool, and I thought it would look really, really cool behind that background, the little black bits. And I think it's working. So, again, just like all other projects, this is one that gets probably neglected more than a lot of others. Here's a needle minder. I think I got this one from somewhere overseas, but it's a cameo, but it's a skeleton. A female skeleton. And I just thought that was cool. Oh. No. I literally just put a knot in my, or just about put a knot in my thread. Okay, I fixed it. I would have edited out most of that, so it took me a minute. Anyways, that's it for that one. Next one up, it's in one of these bags. This is one you would not have seen Sorry for the zip. This is one you would not have seen in a previous Flosstube, because this is one I actually did. I got the pattern for Christmas and I started it. And I've worked on it a lot. If I can find it. Oh, it's right there. This is the Time Traveler, Joan Elliott. It is so Doctor Who. We all know it. Sad thing is with Doctor Who, Missy was the ultimate master. And the ones come after they just don't compare. I'm sorry, they don't. Missy was the ultimate master. But this is cool. And yes, it's not exactly Missy, but we know who it is. And I've got quite a bit done on this. I've got almost half of it. But I picked this fabric. I don't think I dyed this fabric. No, I didn't dye this fabric. It was just something that came up in my like bulk lot of stuff that I sometimes buy. How I get a hold of a bunch of cross-stitching stuff, get a hold of a bunch of fabric, get a hold of a bunch of extra like flosses and stuff like that. I got a package that's Mill Hill beads, and I've pulled out several of those packages to put in projects that I've started, so it's been very nice. You know, though there's still a lot of stuff that I don't use, but it's always there available to use. And if I want to maybe add beads to a project, or if I want to swap them out for something different, I can maybe use what I already have on hand, make things cheaper. But yeah, got this for Christmas. Wouldn't have been this Christmas. Probably maybe the Christmas that I last recorded. I would have recorded like September or something like that 3 years ago. Might have been that Christmas or else the Christmas after. So this is just a little kitty needle minder that I made myself. This bag, by the way, after this project, will be no more. It is like, I put this in my bag I bring to work with me, my project bag I bring to work with me. That's how I've got so much done on it, because I put in a strand or two at work during lunch, but it's destroyed the bag. These bags were not made for traveling. They really weren't. Okay, next up, this one I will probably pop up a picture of. But this is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio. That's as far as I've gotten on it. I know the original one of this was done on like, I think it's Picture Me Plus. I think it was done on that, the Murky, that's really super popular, which looked cool, but there's something about it. I wanted the typical kind of Halloween look, so this is fabric I dyed myself, and it's really fun because I was one of the first ones I did, and I really didn't know what I was doing, so it's kind of got this speckled aspect to it, which I absolutely love. I wish I could recreate that because I think it's cool. Next up, I'm going to show you this is a little file folder thing. It's got a handle and stuff, and yes, it's open. It's being held closed by a hair tie. It will pull that out. It will close all the way normally. And I did that to put small projects in, and I can literally just grab this and take it with me if I need to, like, go somewhere. If I go visit my parents or something like that. And instead of figuring out which project I want to take with me, I can literally take this with me and work on a small. And, I do keep it open generally, just so the projects can breathe. I don't want them smushed like all the time. So we'll go through what's in here. First one up is Dance in the Rain. This is designed by Lee Fisher. It was in the April 2017, 2018. I don't remember which magazine this is. It's not Just Cross Stitch. No, yeah, it is Just Cross Stitch. Just Cross Stitch magazine, April 2018. But as cute as she is, well, let's face it, I'm a little different. So I changed her up a little. And that is what she looks like. She's got striped stockings, and she's got a red dress with a green top, kind of giving you, you know, like a fruit type of vibe. And this is all I've gotten to. This is on one of my Focus for a Finish. This fabric, sorry, I know. This fabric I dyed myself. I did this really weird / cool thing where I like folded it and put different color in it to create the little stripy thing. Doing this technique with neutrals, I think would be really cool. It'd give you that kind of shiplap type of vibe. And let's face it, there are some designs out there that would look really cool on that type of fabric. And it's stuff that's like really popular type of style stitching and stuff nowadays. So that I think would be cool. But yeah, the writing on it says it's not how you weather the storm, it's how you dance in the rain. So that's that one. I can get it. I don't know how much of this is sticking up. Hopefully it's not hiding too much. This is Let It Snow Dimensions kit. I have several Christmas dimensions kits. They usually come up like super cheap on sites and stuff like that. So I have a tendency to pick them up because I can always find somebody to give Christmas pictures to. And let me see if I can figure out what direction this goes. Because I would have started it in the center. Yeah. It goes this way. Can you see what's done? Probably not. All I've done is the white on it. But, yeah, it's just all the little white stuff. Probably this area right here. Nothing too awful special. Definitely one I haven't worked on in a long time. In fact, I think it was like a WIP Go start or something like that at some point. Next up, I'll have to put a picture in. This is one I actually designed myself. It says autumn. As you've seen by the picture, it'll have a big tree off at the side. This fabric was like a gradient. It's not going to be long. It's going to be much shorter. I was about to say, I don't know why I started it so low. There's a tree in it. The tree goes up higher. That's why it's lower. You see it's got a skull, and it's got a pumpkin, and it's got a vine here, and then it'll have the tree, and I don't have a picture of it in front of me. I think there's a moon. So, yeah. I used to have this pattern up on my Etsy shop, but nobody was interested, so I eventually took it off. Every 3 months you have to pay 30 cents for listing to be up, so just ends up not being worth it if it doesn't sell. But I still like the design. So this one here is, well, for some odd reason I've had it written as Christmas Motif. I think it's something in the file that has the word motif in it, so that's where my brain went. It's called Christmas Sentiment. It's called Christmas Sentiment. It's originally done on blue. I'm doing it on pink. Yeah, picture should be in the corner. What was this one? I'm gonna have to look it up. Oh, it's by the Magic Needle. At least that's where I could find it. I downloaded this so long ago, like years and years ago. I think pre-COVID. I don't remember where I downloaded it from, but Magic Needle has it available as a kit, so I'm just gonna assume that that's where it originated from. I feel like where I got it from had the pattern available for free for, you know, like little freebies, things that sites do sometimes. I feel like that's where that came from. Next up is a Riolis kit, and I think I put it in the package upside down. Anyway, sorry for any crinkling. I will try and edit the sound down on it. I don't know what this is called. I did. When I bought it, it said what it was called. It's number 610 though. I call it Cat on Roof because I don't know what it's supposed to say. Sorry if I'm a little shaky. Again, I'm getting older. Didn't expect to be dealing with shakes and stuff in my 40s, but that's life for you. It's done on Ada, but the Riolis kits have this like wool. That's like a wool floss, if you want to call it, wool yarn or whatever. That is just, it's actually nice to work with once you get working with it, but when you're thinking about working on the kit, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I really want to work with it. I want just my typical DMC, just my typical embroidery floss. But a little bit of a start. This one should be on my focus on a finish will. Should be, because it's just a small little, it's a small little square, ends up like 5 by 5. And if you've seen needles in the fabric, I know, I get that you are gonna be like, hey, yes, I know what needles do. Trust me, I know what they do. This one should have a picture up here. Floral Fairy. That's as far as I've gotten. Yeah, this is from Stitchy Princess. I think I think she's Stitchy Princess Black, but I think everybody always called her Stitchy Princess. She is from Ukraine. So this was a design I picked up, you know, when that war started. Try and help them out. I know she was helping out a lot of neighbors and friends and stuff, because she was still able to like work and get money in, so she was doing a lot of stuff. I have another design by her that is actually in my starts list. Another one that's on the focus on a finish. And this one, another picture up. It's just called Folk 3. I bought it with a set of patterns that have this sort of look style to it. It like from, I think it's just called X Cross Stitch. That's another one that was a Ukrainian designer. I haven't looked to see if they're still even there. Yeah, definitely did not serge the edges of this one. I don't remember. Yeah, but yeah, just a little start, another focus on a finish. It looks really cool. A little roundness, round design, fit in a hoop. That's it for the ones in my bag. Okay, I've got a couple more in bags, and then I've got a storage cube that's got a lot of them, so we're slowly but surely getting there. Up next, another Dimensions kit. This is a tree skirt, and remember how I said my Christmas is pink? Yeah, it's got a little bit of color conversion, basically just switching the red over to pinks, which does its job, trust me. I haven't worked on it a whole lot, because this is like 11 count or something like that. It is big and bulky. You use 3 strands. I always struggle to pull it out just because there's so much thick fabric that you have to work with. But not too long ago, this does have some progress on it, so hopefully I will be able to show you a picture of what it looked like before. But it actually goes, I've got some coloring and clear over there. But at one point I realized I could use this little makeshift stand I have. I was quilting 20 plus years ago, and I had made a quilt for a friend, I made a quilt for my sister, my parents, and I did actual hand quilting, the actual quilting, the backing, the batting and the top together. You can either go and get it machine quilted, or you can hand quilt it. I made this little makeshift frame thing. I bought a what was it, like a clothing rack that kind of went up and kind of rounded out. That way you could hang your clothes from it, both sides. And I cut it off so that it, and you can take it apart and put it back together. But I made it so that when you put it together, it's shorter. It's at sitting level so that I could use it to quilt. And it got put away, and I haven't really quilted with it. But then I was thinking on this, and it just suddenly popped into my head, and I was like, that'll make working on this so much easier. And it did. It definitely did. So hopefully I can actually put in some work on this. I think it is only in the regular WIP's wheel, but I do reserve the right to randomly work on something if I suddenly feel the urge to work on it. So, well, that's that there. See if I can figure out how to fold this back up. Pretty sure this was like, ugh. Good thing I edit this out, because this is, there we go. Harder. Heart it harder. Come and sing. It's because of all you hate. I am iconic by mistake. Editing this is going to take forever. Okay, next one up. This is a bag I made. As you can see, it's got knitted fabric on it. This is a close-up picture I took of a pair of socks that I made, because it's got this little pearl aspect designed into the pattern. And then I just went on Spoonflower, purchased it, and made it into a bag. And it's even got the same fabric on the inside. But I don't know, it's still just one of my favorite bags. I really like it. This is Death by Cross Stitch, Long Dog Sampler. And of course, not very far along. It's pretty. I just did across a bit and did down a bit, and then decided to start working in the corner piece here. And this is one of those that I want to pull out all the time and work on, but then my brain goes, but you got little tiny holes. This is an even weave. I dyed it myself. It does have some little bits of speckling, just color, not really mixing. Didn't mix it enough when I put it in, but I still liked it, and I need a piece this big, and thought it was cool. It's got kind of a teal color, and then it does have some like blue splotches, no, not many of them, and then the marbling effect has that green that's kind of that olivey green, which I hadn't really anticipated, but I love the way it turned out. So, and then this is being stitched with a dark brown. Do I have it written? 3371. 3371. Cause brown on green. Oh yeah. Brown. Brown and mint green is the best though. I like mint green. My phone is mint green. You can't see it, but my phone is mint green. I've always been like a pink or purple fan, or kind of even black. Went through black stage. But a couple of years ago, man, I just suddenly became obsessed with mint green. And I just absolutely love it. I don't know why. It just suddenly caught my attention. It happens. Up next, this is Master of Time. It's like a Russian kit. It might be called Dream Hunters, but I'm not sure. The kit has a lot of stuff in English as well as the Russian, but what the kit brand is, I'm not sure. It's got this down here, and that's where Dream Hunters comes from. It's got this up here, but that doesn't have any translation, so I think I tried looking it up, but I couldn't find it. Anywho, it's a steampunk cat. You can't go wrong with a steampunk cat. This is based on artwork by E. Shumkovas. Again, one of those names. Like, I've got a little bit of remembrance of how Russian kind of sounds, so I can sort of make it sound Russian. Can't guarantee I'm pronouncing it right. In fact, pretty sure I'm not, but whoever this artist is, I should look him up because I think he does some cool stuff. Or she. I guess it could be a she. It doesn't say. You can tell I'm Gen X. I very much grew up with you just call everybody a he. Anywho. This is where I'm at. It's like right in this area. It is full coverage, I believe. It might have some empty stitches at the top. Looking through the pattern, no, it does not. No, I swear it does. I thought it didn't, but now that I'm looking at it again, where's the top? That's the middle. That's the page I'm working with. Yeah, no, it's full coverage. This is not in my full coverage 1,000 stitches wheel, I don't think. Because I don't think I realized it was full coverage. It's hard to figure out if you've done 1,000 stitches on a paper pattern though, so maybe that's why I didn't. Maybe I should still put it on the wheel anyways. If it's not, it might be. You never know with me. Oh, needle minder I made. It's literally just a piece of fabric that I cut out and dunked in, I think, like clear acrylic coating paint or something, and it's still like textured. It didn't like do like resin would and make it smooth or anything, so it's still like textured, but it's stiff enough. Still got some give and movement to it, but it's stiff enough and it works. Okay, we are finally moving on to, this is the last of them, but there's still a few in here for sure. A few of them I showed you before used to be in here, but I keep putting stuff in here. And in the very front, I have some patterns that aren't kitted up or anything. I've got several Mirabilias that aren't kitted up. And there's this one, which I think I was originally thinking of doing a green conversion on, which I think would look cool. So this coloring here is very purplish, at least in the photo. I'd have to look at the floss. I'm not sure what I would do there because I'd either go with a light green mixed with the, could do a bluey green with an emerald green. Ooh, the bluey green, tealy, turquoise-ish, something in that realm with the emerald green. I like. And then this one is one of them that came out with the new colors came out, and it's done in all the new colors, or all and just the new colors, I think. No. I don't remember. It came out and it had new colors in it, from what I can tell. Yeah, got a lot of beads to it as well, but just liked it. And this one, hopefully we're not getting any sort of glare because it's in a bag and I don't want to take it out. Lady of Mystery. I originally bought this and was going to color convert it to purple, like a darker purple, plummy, mauvey purple versus the like pinky purple that it is. And it was going to be for my sister. And I got started on it. And then I realized the linen I had was not even whatsoever. So she is getting very stretched out and I wasn't liking it when it was on linen. So I eventually just decided to take it out. I do have beads in the back because I just bought the beads that went with it because it's mostly just black and then a color that I felt would still work fine with the purple. And then this here's a couple of the flosses that go with it. They're just in there because I do stuff like that. 2 additional patterns I have in here. I don't have a whole lot of paper patterns. I do have several not started that are like in Pattern Keeper that I have the PDF of, but that's for paper patterns. I don't have a whole lot of them. I just keep a few random ones in here. They usually get started, so they're in my WIPs. But I was on eBay and came across a couple Shannon Christine designs, and they were good prices, so I picked them up. This one, I actually saw somebody working on it. I wouldn't be able to tell you who. It was a long time ago, but it looked really cool. And this one I just saw. It's Castle. And while I love to turn everything pink, I don't think I would turn this one pink. I'd keep this one blue. I love the Winter Wonderland blue. I'd choose the Winter Wonderland blue over your normal Christmas colors pretty much any day. But again, like I said, I'd gotten like in lots beads and Krynic and stuff like that. These ones I pulled out because they're the ones that go with the pattern. So slowly but surely get stuff up, get started on them. Got tons of fabric I can look through. Can always dye fabric if I want to. I did recently actually buy some fabric. You will see that for new starts because I just wasn't finding what I wanted and I didn't think I could dye it exactly the way I wanted. So last pattern I have in here is Witch's Gate, Whispered by the Wind. That is not the fabric that I want to use. It's the fabric I'm going to use. It's not the color I want it to be. I am going to over dye it. This is fabric I already dyed. The Aida is very weird Aida. I got a pack of Aida and it's probably not fully cotton, even though it claimed it was, because it's slickery. It's kind of slickery. It's but I think it will be okay to stitch on. But I dyed it this color blue, and that's the thing. I think it dyes weird. You don't get quite as strong of modeling and stuff like that. So I'm gonna over dye it gray and see what I can get in some similarity to this. It won't have much marbling on it though, like I said. So that's it for the random paper patterns I have in here. Okay, last of the patterns in my storage cube. There's still a few of them to go. This one is Fall Fairy by Dimensions. I like fall. Fall is probably my favorite. Totally down with autumn. I like Halloween. Don't do much of anything for Halloween. It's not fun when you don't have anybody to hang out with during Halloween. So if I had people to hang out with, I'd probably do a lot more on Halloween because I like Halloween. Dimensions kit. Where am I? That's where I'm at. I started in the middle as usual. I think it's divided into 4 different pages, so it might not be exact middle, but it's close. And it's in the middle of her dress. And this will, of course, have back stitching on it, which I don't mind. I kind of like back stitching. I like the way things come together with the back stitching. Like, it's really cool to see. Because, like, when I studied art, it was really big on not outlining things, using the shading to create the lines. Whereas you don't really do that with cross stitching. You actually put in the outlines usually. Well, not usually, but you actually utilize outlines to create the look, to make it look the way you want to, which I kind of enjoy. These floss things I actually like, because you can literally grab the single one strand that you want and pull it out from the top of this, and pull it out like you normally would. I wish there was a way to do this with all my stuff, because this is probably the way I like my floss the most. I thought this was just great. Or as great as you can get it, I suppose. I don't know. I liked it. Up next is Ice Cats. I originally bought this pattern as like a kit on eBay that was not from Soda Stitch, and it was actually called Ice Cream Cats. When I later on found out what it really was and who it was from, I bought the actual pattern, and I am still using the kit pieces. In fact, I'm using the pattern as a working copy. So, but like literally I compared the patterns. They are exactly the same. They literally just bought this and copied it. Yeah. I was a little naive. Nearing 10 years ago. I just didn't think there was quite that much theft of designs. And now we're not seeing theft of designs as much because I think AI makes it easier. So, but So does Stitch. So cute. Kitty cats with ice cream. That's as far as I am. I know one year there was some sort of game thing that I joined that was getting a bunch of starts started. So I got a lot of starts started and not much work on them. We're going to try and change that. Here is another Riolis kit. This is Christmas Shelf. I just thought it was really cool, and I think these kits I picked up at like, I wouldn't even know, like 1 2 3 Stitch type of site, and it was in their clearance or something like that. And I think it goes that way. Would be the center. Yeah, I think it goes that way. Again, not much work done on it. I think this is the like wool type stuff as well. And of course, the downside to starting in the middle is that generally your fabric is folded like right down the center. So if you work to both sides of it, it's gonna want to fold over so that you can't see it all. How annoying is that? Oh, thing about this kit. These you cut out. You can see a little bit of the pattern, but you're not getting much of it, let's face it. These you like cut out and put onto the pattern. Like you fold them over and put a piece of the floss through it and hang it. Which will look kind of cool. Not sure about the sustainability of the paper though, so. But that element of kind of getting a little bit more dimension. Multimedia. I'm down with that, so we'll see. Next we have Santa Express. Another dimensions kit. One that I definitely picked up super cheap. It has just the start on it. And it started in the middle. It is like right in the little square bit. Kind of a sign, but it's not a sign. It's part of the train, but it kind of looks like a sign. Next, another dimensions. This is Believe in Santa. This is actually a kit I won from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. So that was cool. Kind of surprised I won it. I don't tend to win things a whole lot. But again, just a little bit of a start. Just the little flowers. Another one from the starting whatchamacallit that I did. Little starting game thing. There used to be something that was new starts. It was all about new starts in like March, April, May, something like that. Somebody can comment below. They probably know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember what it was called. I'm pretty sure that was what I joined in on. By the way, all the things I'm showing you are in these bags. Up next, Dimensions Gold Kit, Toy Shop. There's another one of these that's Coffee Shop. that I'd love to get and have both of them, because they're cute. But this is where I'm at. It is like down the side of the windows. I don't know. I think I had started it at some point and then pulled it out and did a few more stitches on it, so it's got a little bit more work than like half of the stuff I have out there. I just have like a strand or two in there. And here is another Mirabilia. This is Raven Queen. I saw years ago, I believe it was Jessie Marie Does Stuff working on it, and just absolutely loved it. So, well, that is where I'm at. I loved it so much. This is how far I got on it. I still do absolutely love it though. She was doing something extra with it, so that she didn't have to stitch like this in the corner or something. I just put it on similar fabric. This is a linen, which is going to slow me down from working on it, but it'd be 2/2. Looks like it was probably 32 count. Doesn't quite look as small as like an 18, and definitely not as big as 14. A little crosses. Maybe it would have been like 36. I have to say 18 count Ada, probably my favorite. With this kit and my Lady of the Flag, I bought these guys. It's just a little kit with all the beads in it. Just easier than going in and buying them all separately. And I think I could usually find these on like eBay for a bit cheaper than if I bought all of the beads separate. This was also bought like as a little kit of all the Krynics and stuff. It's supposed to just have what you need and not extra. We'll see how that goes. Getting close, people. Getting close to getting through the WIPs, and then we'll go over the planned new starts. This here is Knitting Kitten. Kittens. Knitting Kitten. It's really cute. It's little, I don't know if you'd call them kids or just if they're supposed to be like grown adult cartoon characters. I really don't know. But they got kitty hats on and they're knitting. I don't know if this is got glare or not. If it's got glare, I'll put a picture up, but you know, generally turning one direction or the other gets it. This is how far I am, which isn't far, of course, but I really should work on these guys because these guys are cool. I absolutely love them. I can't remember. I might have put the soda shops on Focus on a Finish. If not, maybe I'll consider putting them on Focus on a Finish. They're not very far along, though. So, we will see. This here. I don't really think I can put a picture up. It is mostly done. You can tell it's got some more filling in to do in a couple of spots. But if you watch Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, they have these home wreaths. And you stitch the H, the M, and the E. And then the O is a wreath. And they've got all these different wreaths that you can do. So I got the home pattern and made a skull pattern to do for the O. Because yeah, I have a few things that are skull in my living room. Because like I said, I like skulls. I know absolutely nobody wonders why I'm not married. But that is that. I haven't done the like HME. I think those are fairly squared. I'd have to relook at the pattern. Haven't looked at it in a while. So I might be condensing them down to where they're a little bit thinner and longer, a little bit more rectangular. We will see. And I might have done this before knowing exactly what size they were, so yeah. Might just have to be altered to fit the fabric as well. Yeah, I know. We all do it sometimes. We're down to the last 4 whips. This should have a picture up. This is Steampunk Cat by Stitching Jules Design. I just bought another one of her patterns. It's Apothecary that I want to work on. I'm thinking of doing a limeish, Halloween greenish colored fabric with black for the Apothecary, but it's not set up for a new start at this point. This, however, now Steampunk Cat might sound familiar because Master of Time was a steampunk cat. This is going to be that too. And I just dropped the... But this is just the start of the hat. And the color that I'm using just is silvery gray. If I can remember, 452. And it was just something I had a bunch of that I'd gotten in a lot. And it was great use of it. And I thought the like silvery purple gray color that it is would be cool on the black, and just not quite as bold as the white anyways. Use what you got. And yeah, I gotta use some of what I've got. Can't just keep going and buying new, which I did have to buy a little bit of new for the new starts, so I don't have everything. I love it when people like get new patterns and they're like, I pulled all of this stuff out of my stash. And I'm just like, I'm a little jealous of your stash, dude. Just a little. This here's another Dimensions kit. Very popular one. This is Frederick, whatever way you pronounce it, the cat. The Literate. Frederick the Literate. Again, if I'm not showing the picture all that well, I'll put one up. But again, just super popular. Lots of people have done it. I actually got some lots and I ended up with 2 of these. But I thought I had... One of them didn't have the fabric, so I was able to pull fabric from my stash. And then one of them I thought was only half of the pattern initially, so I ended up, because I was going to just sell both of them on eBay for a couple bucks. And So I'd pulled out the black fabric and was like, yeah. And then I thought I'd only had half the pattern, so I just set it aside and was like, I don't know what to do. But like the threads and stuff were there. And then at some point I was, I don't know, working with this and discovered between these two, the other half of the pattern was in there. One half of the pattern was on this side with the floss, and the other half of the pattern was in this part. So I thought, I'll just start it. Have I gone very far? No. Is that surprising? No. But it's still a really cute kit. I don't know. I like kitty cats. I used to love to read all the time. I don't really read much anymore. I don't know what happened. Things just kind of changed. I am reading, do have a book that I am reading. It's about Ed Kemper, so you do you. I also got a book that I do want to read. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about the Harmony Montgomery case, which, if I recall, I just saw something that's been overturned. If that's the one I'm thinking of, if that's happened, oh, I'm pissed. Because somebody did not do their job. People love to be like, it was overturned on a technicality. Yes, technicality means that the police or whatever didn't do their job. That's what a technicality means. It doesn't mean they found a loophole in the law. It means somebody didn't do their job. Was this not in a... Oh. I'm sitting here looking for the Ziploc bag that I'm holding. What can you do? My brain don't function. Next one up. Another soda stitch. This is the Korean alphabet. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. The Hangul, something like that. I should have looked it up, but anywho, the Korean alphabet, which actually has a really cool, like, story behind it. Korean used to use the Chinese characters until one of their, I don't know if they would have been called an emperor at the time, or if they were called something different. One of the leaders at that point in time developed a writing system, which is really cool and makes a lot of sense, but is really hard to learn because a lot of the symbols and stuff, the letters, are fairly similar. Like, you might have a line going up and down, and then one going this way, and then for another letter you have the line going up and down, but you have the line over on this side, which, like I said, really easy to like get, but a lot harder to read because you have to, and then it's like done in squares or something like that. Like, it's really cool, but very different from the alphabet that English uses. So, more creative than us, obviously, but learning our actual English language, a lot harder. I think learning to read the alphabet might be a little bit easier because it's not. I don't know. This might have actually been worked on since my last WIP parade, since my last Flosstube. If it has, I'll put up a picture. But there we go. Got just a little bit going on. The little hippo is super cute. I don't think this has... Yeah, it doesn't have like back stitching, so... Yeah. One that don't have back stitching, so... That's interesting. And this is the last one, people, last one. And then we'll show you plans for the new starts. But this is Victorian Charm from Dimensions. I don't remember whose it was, but it was definitely on a Flosstube, and I saw it, and it kind of had a Halloween haunted house type of vibe to it. I think it's because there's black cats, I don't know. But it still, outside of it not really actually being Halloween, it just kind of had that vibe. But the Victorian house design still very cool. And I knew I had to have it. So this is where I'm at. Again, it might have been one that I've worked on. I don't know. I'll have to check. I feel like it is. If so, I'll put in a picture. But as you can tell, I have done some back stitching on this part. I was going to do back stitching on this part, but I wanted to get in a lot of the backing first, so I wasn't like stitching it over the back stitch. So I had to make sure and wait until I started getting that in so I could do some more of the back stitching. I can't remember, it was a Flosstuber years ago, and they did back stitching as they went. They did it because they didn't like back stitching. I decided to do it because I like seeing the piece come together, and you see, like, you will see the top half like being fully done as you're working on the bottom half, and I just find that kind of just inspiring to keep going on it, you know? Okay, let's go over the planned new starts real quick. Hopefully I'm going to get through this one quicker. First one up. This is Autumn Queen. Out of print. It did cost me a couple bucks. But I found it at a good price. Somebody just didn't want to sell it for a ton of money. They didn't feel the need to, which was nice. But when I first saw her, like, I loved her. So I started looking for her. And she's just going to be done on a piece of, like, it's either white, no, like an off-white cream Aida. Second up, we'll put a picture in here. Actually, I think this would be, I can show you an actual finish from previously. This is a temperature chart. I have temperature pets, which is cats and dogs, on my Etsy. Usually around the end of the year, beginning of the year, I sell a few of the patterns, and I just realized that this is actually open. That could have been fun. But I redid some color so that it's pastel-y. And then I have this fabric that I dyed. That's just very lightly, like, marbled. And slightly pinkish, blush pink. And since I do have it in here, this one, the numbers I have is for 2024. And I don't have one for 2023. But I did finish my 2022. And this shows you what it's like. And you can, of course, change it up and put it into, like, rectangular form. But as you can see, my math wasn't mathing again. This was not long enough. So I had to put December down here. And because of that, I went ahead and stitched in 2022 right there. But the colors I have for this is like half as many colors as this. So, yeah. I think I'm going to redo a couple color options, put in the pastel version. I actually would love to make like a sepia like color range. I feel like that would be really cool, like neutrals. But we'll see if I can create something like that or not, because I mean, the color is one of the things about the temperature charts, but he still accomplished the same concept of the change with a like sepia range, or a white to cream to browns to black range or something like that. Would still accomplish, you know. Anywho, off in La La Land, thinking about things. But we want to get that started and maybe come up. I've got a couple more temperature pattern designs in my brain. Want to get those done and figured out, and maybe do one of them for 2025. Next one, Skeleton Crew by the Cricket Collection. Saw somebody working on this on YouTube as usual, and loved it and had to have it. So I got the chart, and then it's just been sitting around. This here is the fabric I just had to get. The fabric that this was originally done in doesn't appear to be around anymore. So I got a, and they had some fabrics that were modeled that were fairly close over on 123 Stitch. But they also had the Ada, which cost half as much. And is very close. I think it's just the slightest bit brighter. So I was like, yeah, that still works real good. And I pay half as much for it, so that is what we did. Next one up, Celestial Dragon from Designworks. I keep wanting to say DreamWorks. DreamWorks is animation, not cross stitch. Designworks. Yeah, it's got beads, and I think it's got like metallic thread and stuff. But I just like Dragon in the Moon and the colors. I loved it when I saw it, and it was one of those that I could pick up real cheap, and I was just like, cool, we're gonna grab that. Next one up, put a picture in. I'll have to find the picture. It's in PDF form. This is Autumn Kitten. I also bought Winter Kitten. I'm doing it on this green, like a dark army green. Not quite hunter green. More dark olive, dark army. But I just feel it'll look really cool on that. Like the color. Here's just some of the colors. Most of the colors. Like, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Next one. I call it Red Dragon. It's called Dragon 2. I'm going to say probably an AI image. But it's Meteor cross stitch. May DIYer. I don't know. Definitely like Chinese. But it is a full coverage that I just realized not too long ago, a couple days ago. So, but I just found it really cute. Again, super cheap kit. Don't have to kit it up myself. Got all the stuff. Next one up. This one I just randomly bought like a week or two ago. Saw somebody else working on one with the same like phrase. This is called Radicalized, and it just says radicalized by basic decency. Because, yeah, I just feel it's like become really cool nowadays to just be a jerk. And it was just crazy. So, saw this sentiment, saw somebody else working on a different one, which was okay, but it was very florally. I'm not super into florals. Like a little bit of florals. But looking it up, I found this one from Rebel Stitcher Designs. I find the brightness of this a little too much, and the variegated floss I think is just a little too variegated for me. It kind of, you just can't see the design as much, so I eventually picked out this combo. This floss has like light pinks and browns. I don't know if it zoomed in on that or not. If not, I will just have taken a picture and put it in front of it so you won't see it all blurry. But kind of a minty green, like I said. Like, here's a pink and a kind of minty green. This is so my jam. I also had pulled out a yellow Ada and a blue, I think it was Weeks Dye Works, that was very lightly variegated as well. And it was just so 80s quilt. Like, I don't know if you saw back in the 80s, a lot of quilts were done with a blue and yellow combo. I had that pulled out as well, and I was just bouncing back and forth between the two, and still might actually stitch the yellow one as well. I don't know. Both of them were calling to me eventually. This one got me. And my last new start will be pictured here. This is Winter Woodland by Stitchy Princess. This type of style generally isn't my thing. The only other one kind of like this that you would have seen was Halloween Quaker. Yeah. There would have been a couple others that are like, you know, like Folk 3, Floral Fairy, that are a little bit more that realm of style and stuff, but like it's super popular in general, not really my thing. But I found that one and I really liked it. So I'm doing that, and I found this fabric in my stash again, just came in with a big lot of stuff. And this is Picture This Plus Cashel 28 count. I don't know what HD means, but it's Crystal Dwarf. It is a sparkle, opalescent, whatever fabric. And let's face it, Christmas on sparkle is just, heck yeah. Christmas on sparkle is just where it's at. Anyways, what I'm going to do now is spin the wheel, and we will screen record it and put it in here right next to me. And the winner is Red Dragon. So I will be starting. I'll put it somewhere. The Red Dragon piece. So when I get to going on the new start, might be in about a week when my next weekend comes up, because getting ready to start my work week. But we'll get started on that. Anyways, that's that. I think it's 37 whips in total, and what was it, like 7 new starts? Let me look at my new starts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, 8. 8 planned new starts. Hopefully, maybe even today, I will finish up the Leap of Faith, and we'll be able to show you that. And the plan is to actually start making some actual Flosstube videos again. Get back into something that I enjoy doing. Maybe here and there show you other stuff I'm working on. I've actually been making several new pairs of socks for work because I really like my knitted socks, even in the middle of summer. Especially, okay, I stock shelves overnight. Sometimes I'm put over into the freezer section. And while I will run around in a t-shirt and no gloves in the freezer section, putting stuff up, unless it's the ice cream. I swear the ice cream section is just a little bit colder. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure the ice cream section is just a little colder. I do need to put on the gloves for the ice cream section. But even though most of the time running around without gloves and a t-shirt, no hoodie or jacket or anything, that section will still make my feet cold. I don't know why. So the wool socks kind of help a little bit in that area. I just like them better. So I've been working on a couple of those. So maybe I'll show those. I've got some knitting stuff started and not finished, and a couple of them are really cool that I should finish. But again, I can't get as much stuff done anymore. Yeah. But hopefully, I don't know if it'll be weekly, maybe bi-weekly. I will try and get up a Flosstube for you. Maybe try and film a little bit of me working on stuff, get a little bit of vlogish type, stuff put in there. A little bit of maybe a voiceover when I'm working on something like that. Be a little creative. I don't know. Depends on what I have time for, when I think about filming, just all the things. So that's that. And that'll be it for this one. Hopefully it's not too long. I've been filming for several hours. I will be editing and cutting down a lot of stuff, so hopefully this isn't several hours for you. And that'll be it. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.